Manga-Waido.
My name is Yuri Kanematsu. I work as a contract employee for a cleaning company. But the truth is, I have another dream. It's to become a culinary researcher. I lost my father when I was young, and I grew up in a single-mother household. My mother worked day and night, and I made dinner and lunch for my two younger brothers. I tried and arranged a variety of dishes for my younger brothers, who were in the age when they ate the most. It didn't take me too long to discover the joy of cooking. I wanted to go on to a culinary school to study in earnest if possible, but there was no way we could afford it. As soon as I graduated from high school, I started working as a cleaning staff. I was in charge of what is now a well-known department store. But even now, I haven't given up on my dream of becoming a culinary researcher. Tomorrow's lunch will be made using cheap pork and tomatoes. Thinking up original recipes became my secret hobby. But there's something that makes my head ache at my workplace.
How can you spread such a poor-looking meal so openly?
What?
You can eat at the company cafeteria for 500 yen. Oh, excuse me. I guess poor people can't even spare 500 yen.
There's this guy, Hajime Katayama, a regular employee of a department store. Katayama harasses me at every opportunity, saying things like,
You're still cleaning here? Taking your sweet time, aren't you?
Or,
You're still working, you poor woman? Hurry up and quit before your poverty spreads.
And every time I pass him by, he spews out awful things like that. Thinking back, this harassment started over something trivial. One day, Katayama, who was playing with his phone while sipping on a coffee, came walking toward me. I was mopping in front of him and he bumped into me by accident and… Unluckily, the coffee ended up on Katayama's clothes.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry. Since then, Katayama started harassing me. I don't know how, but Katayama found out that my final education was high school and grew up in a single-parent home, and used that as the basis for repeated insidious harassment. I tried to avoid running into him as much as possible, but there was a limit to that. I wonder how long these days will go on. But the opportunity came out of the blue. After work, I entered the break room as usual, and among the announcement posters for the employees, a recruitment notice caught my eye. In commemoration of the opening of the store produced by Emi Tadakoro, a Japanese culinary researcher, calling for creative recipes? The notice said that a creative recipe contest would be held to commemorate the opening of a cafe produced by Emi Tadakoro, a famous culinary researcher in the department store. Tadakoro-san, that's amazing! That's right, I have been referring to Emi Tadakoro's recipe book since I was just learning to cook. I loved her recipes so much that I used to adapt them to my own style and serve them to my family. I was such a big fan that I still buy her recipe books whenever they are published. Her restaurant is opening right where I work. How lucky am I? Not only that, if you win the contest, your recipe would actually be served in the cafe. I have to enter! I was so excited that I was staring at the poster for a long time when…
Come on, you're not thinking of entering that, are you? Don't, all right. I'm involved in this project as well. I won't tolerate a poor person entering.
If you'll excuse me.
A poor person should just stay quiet and behave, like poor people do.
But no matter how much sarcasm Katayama throws at me, I can't back down this time. If I win this contest, it might pave the way for me to become a culinary researcher. I took the flyer home when no one was in the break room. From that day on, I began staying up late every night inventing recipes. If it's something that's going to be served in a cafe, I want it to be casual yet stylish. But no matter how little sleep I got, I was happy to spend time thinking about the food I loved. Here, try some of this. What? Didn't we have this before? I changed it up a bit, just eat it. With the help of my family, I went through a number of trials and errors. And, okay, it's done! On the morning of the application deadline, I finally made my best dish. And with a prayer, I put the envelope containing the recipe in the mailbox. Please, I hope it will be accepted. I wonder when I will hear from them. I check the mailbox every day to see if I have received any notification of the results. But it didn't come today either. Surely tomorrow. As these days repeated, my expectations gradually gave way to feelings of hopelessness. And then a few weeks passed and… I was no longer concerned about the results.
What's going on?
What?
Why is your name in the final round?
Cleaning the office as usual, Katayama changed his expression and shoved the company newsletter in front of me. I hurriedly read the newsletter. It's true, that's my name. To my surprise, I was picked as one of the finalists. The results were also posted on the website and sent by email to those who passed. I only had a fossilized cell phone and was completely unaware of it. I was stupid enough to assume they were supposed to come in the mail.
Withdraw.
What?
There's gonna be TV and magazine coverage that day if you enter and cook your poor meal and they find out you work at this department store. We're going to be the ones humiliated.
No way!
Hey, wait!
I said that to him and ran away. It was my first act of rebellion. I hurriedly ran away from Katayama and forced myself to check my email on my cell phone browser in the women's restroom. And sure enough, details about the final screening had been sent to me. In the final judging, the contestants will actually recreate the recipe in the cafe's kitchen, and Emi Tokoro will taste it. I'm going to have Tadakoro-san eat my dish. I couldn't stop pounding my heart out. I honed my skills even more for another month. I spent a lot of time being very careful not to run into Katayama as well. And finally, on the day of the show, I went to the judging room in high spirits. What? Kanematsu-san, it says you withdrew? What? The list of applicants I was shown had the words Yuri Kanemasu withdrawal on it. It must be some mistake. I didn't withdraw. But
It says withdraw on the list. Then you're withdrawn.
when I saw Katayama's face, I instantly connected the dots. Katayama, who's involved in this project, must have withdrawn me on his own accord. I'm entering. I don't call it withdraw.
You are persistent. A withdrawal is a withdrawal. Go home, you poor lady.
When we were arguing, is there a problem? What? And there was Tadakoro-san, who I admired for so long.
Takadoro-san! I thought you were in a meeting.
What's all this fuss?
I wouldn't say it's a big deal.
My name is Kanematsu, and I will be participating in the final judging. Somehow, by mistake, I was made to withdraw from the competition without my notice. What do you mean?
Well, actually, she is our janitor. But she looked very sick yesterday, so we decided that she would not be able to participate and had to withdraw her.
I have no health problems at all. Please, let me participate. It should be fine, right? You don't have a fever, do you? No, I can take my temperature right here if you would like. That's not necessary. Come on in. Thank you very much. With a single word from Tadakoro-san, I was able to participate in the contest. Tadakoro-san was the very person I admired for so many years. Dignified yet gentle. A person with a generous heart who embraces those around. I cooked the meal, expressing my feelings and gratitude for what I had just seen. All right, it's done! I lovingly prepared the best dish I could make at the moment. And now the judging began. Tadakoro-san carefully tasted the dishes one by one from one end. She seemed to be carefully examining the dishes while exchanging words with the participants who had prepared them. While I was nervously watching the scene, it was finally my turn. Tadakoro-san stares at the dish placed in front of me, then takes a bite. I wonder what she's going to ask me. I was thinking about the answers to the various questions I was going to be asked, my heart racing more than I have ever felt in my life. But Tadakoro-san muttered, "This is," and then fell silent. Is something wrong? I could only shudder at Tadakoro-san's sudden silence. And then,
Oh no. I'm sorry, Tadakoro-san.
what? Katayama came interrupting. Katayama was a member of this project and had been watching the whole time.
It wasn't to your liking, was it? This dish was prepared by our poor janitor. I'm so embarrassed. It was inappropriate for such a person to participate in this event. I will take it away now.
What? Wait!
Yes!
Tadakoro-san finally opens her mouth and takes another bite of my food from Katayama's hand. I knew it. I'm so sorry. Did I do something wrong? No, this is absolutely fantastic. This recipe.
It's based on an old recipe of mine, and you've adapted it to make it even better. That's not an easy thing to do. You have done your research very well.
Yes! Tadakoro-san not only ate my food but praised it. I felt like all the hard things I had been through just disappeared.
You stay back!
Yes!
Katayama, who had been yelled at by Tadakoro-san, quietly dropped down and remained in the organizer's seat until the end of the event. And the results were announced.
All of the recipes were truly amazing, but the winner who took a menu I developed when I was just starting out as a cookbook author and made it into an even better dish with a creative twist is Yuri Kanematsu-san.
Thank you so much! I couldn't believe it. I couldn't think straight. After the awards ceremony was over, I was getting ready to leave.
Kanematsu-san, can I have a word?
Yes!
I heard you work as a janitor here at the department store.
Yes, that's correct.
Ah, what a waste. You should move to this restaurant and learn to cook while you work. I need a person like you with a passion for research and great talent.
Are you sure?
Of course.
The next day, I wrote my resignation and submitted it to the company. And the following month, I finally began my path to becoming a culinary researcher while working as a cooking staff member for the esteemed Tadakoro-san. Meanwhile, that Katayama...
I think it's a problem to have a staff member who talks out of turn like that in public.
Huh? We will investigate immediately.
Tadakoro-san pointed out Katayama's attitude on the day of the contest to the head office, which led to a detailed investigation of his past behavior. I also reported here and there about the harassment I had been subjected to. There were many other staff members who were suffering from power harassment from Katayama, in addition to myself.
We cannot overlook it any longer. I'm sorry to say this, but I personally recommend that you think about how you are going to deal with yourself while the higher-ups are out.
No.
Katayama eventually chose to resign voluntarily and quietly left the company. But things didn't stop there. He was sued by a former subordinate for power harassment, and because of that, he has not been able to find a new job. And as for me...
Was this your idea, sis?
That's right. Awesome!
Yuri, you did a great job.
I invited my family to our newly opened cafe, and they enjoyed the menu I came up with. I felt like all my hard work was paying off. I'll work harder and try to make even better food. If you work hard, there are people who recognize it. I will continue to cook delicious food to the best of my ability and make my customers smile.